do you keep personal setbacks from affecting your business in the long run? This is a question that I got from one of you, but I can really only address it from where I sit when I go through a personal setback. Now, if you've been following all of my things going on in my life, you know I'm in the middle of a personal setback right now. And one of the things people don't know about running for office is that it is intensely emotional and personal when you're not the one that's chosen by the voters. We get very involved in online conversations and say ugly things in comments, forgetting that there are humans on the other side, which is frankly all personal setbacks. Now, the person who asked me this listed off 3 giant things happening in her life. I'm not going to call those things out because it might actually out her and her community, and she doesn't want to go through that. She's just looking for some action items for not having her business completely go off the rails. So here is step number 1 to dealing with personal setbacks in your business. It's this book. And I know some of y'all don't want to hear me tell you this, but this Bible has all the answers. Always has. It's a crazy, amazing gift given to you by God through his servants. So that's my first resource. Dealing with a personal setback, go dig in. Honey, there's no setback you've been through that the leaders in the faith life didn't go through too. Now, let's just say you're not a believer. You're like, I don't read the Bible, Leigh. Okay, go get one. Nothing else I can say to you about that, but the truths and the strength are in there. Okay, that's step number 1. Step number 2, wallow for a minute. I know this sounds kind of crazy because we're in a world that says, pull your bootstraps on, put your big girl panties on, deal with it. It's easier to deal with it if you've wallowed for a minute. Now, if you're not from the South, you don't know wallowed is W-A-L-L-O-W-E-D, but we don't say wallowed. We say wallered, like a pig wallers in the mud. Now, why do pigs waller in the mud? Well, they do it to prevent sunburn is one reason. They do it to get the critters off their skin, but they do it for themselves, for protection. And we sometimes forget that as humans. In your business life or your personal life, when everything has gone sideways, powering through might help, but sometimes you just have to be still for a minute. Also, comes out of that book, just gonna say, but be still. Friend who sent me that message, those 3 giant things happening in your life, get away from all of it for an hour a day if you can, and just sit and be silent. In my current personal setback, I took the first 24 hours for silence. Didn't call anybody back. I didn't go have lunch or coffee with anybody. I just got quiet to give myself a chance to think. And here's what happens after you give yourself a chance to rest and be still. Then your creative juices start to flow. So in the middle of all the giant setbacks happening in life, there's also positive things happening. But if you don't deal with the things you're dealing with, you can't even see the positive. So now we're going to focus on the moment after your quiet time, whether it's an hour or a day, or maybe you're lucky and you get a week. But for most of us, it's just that minute. Now what? Now you take action. When you're trying to get through a personal setback, the action doesn't look like the way you've always done it. It might look like connecting with people who've been in that same space. So let's just say, for example, you're dealing with a diagnosis of a nasty disease. Let's just say cancer. Everybody's had some in their families or in their lives. When you start telling people that you're dealing with this, you're giving them a way to connect to you. And I know this sounds wild, but that's another way to build your business is by building connections through relationships. They might not need you today, but when they start to see you as a human who is something more than a service provider, something more than a professional, they're going to be more inclined to support you later on. But you have to let people in. And that means knowing who you are and putting it out there. Now, let's just put an asterisk here. We don't need to tell all of our personal business. For example, we don't need you posting pictures of your feet on the internet. That's weird. But you can let people know, hey, I just got this diagnosis. Here's what I've got questions about. Maybe you just drop it out there in the form of curiosity. How did other people deal with it? What secrets did they learn? What tricks did they find? What support groups are out there? You may find that people who've been through your setback situation are the most supportive help you can find. but you can't really find their help if you're still wallowing. So after you've picked yourself up and then opened yourself up, well, now what's next? Here's the other secret to keeping that personal business going. When other people see that you are still active and you are still doing anything related to your community, to life, they're going to think about you when it comes to that professional space. I mean, if it's in your bio on your social profiles, and if you occasionally say, here's what I do for a living, let people know that they can support you professionally while they also support you emotionally. I find that a lot of people, when they're hit with a moment, they're hit with a setback, they just vanish. Well, that's not the answer, my friends. There's no reason for you to vanish. You've still got something to give. There's something really impactful that you can provide to your community. Let's say you're in real estate and your market is really quiet right now, no inventory. You don't even know what to do next. Well, you're not going to have any business, and nobody's going to call you if they don't see you. You cannot be a secret agent. Now, this does not mean you need to go out there with a name tag on and be all fakey fake. Everybody needs to buy or sell. You don't have to do that. But what you could do is be visible in Lowe's and Home Depot and get to know what's going on with the cost of materials. Have you checked the cost of 2x4 since our supply chains first broke in 2020? If not, go get yourself educated. Do you know what roofing materials are going on in your market? What's popular that the insurance companies will favor, because we have to keep the insurance companies happy right now? So go out there and teach yourself something in that professional space, visibly, in public. And you start thinking about it. All of those are just continuing to live. That's how you build up through your personal setbacks and keep your business going. Continue to live, continue to grow, and take your moments when you need them. I promise you, business will forgive so much in life if we don't let it overpower all the humanity that was given us from day one. Now, if you have a question about your own something you got going on in your business life or personal life, hit me up in the comments, click the bell, all the things. I'll help any way I can. And frankly, the way that I help usually comes from what I'm going through too. And by the way, check on your strong friends. They might need you.